Well, it's a good sign we're back again, Coach.
Yes, it is.
After another week of playoffs, going 1-0 against Lakeville South, the number three seed on your side of the section, giving you the section championship. Now going up against Lakeville North. It was a nail biter, 35-34. Came down to the last play. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But your thoughts overall on the performance?
Yeah, I mean everything. Everything's a test. So you go through that game, and a lot of different things could have happened. And we thought we played really well. Other than giving up big plays.
Yeah.
That was really the difference in the game. As far as making it close, but unbelievably impressed with how well our kids handled the adversity, the ebbs and flows of the game. It was never oh dang it, we're in trouble right now. It was every time something happened, we'd respond, make a big play, do something to come back and take it. So,
and I wrote that in my game notes too. I mean, you guys traded blows with Lakeville in the first quarter, second quarter. Third quarter goes scoreless, but then again in the fourth quarter, I mean, it was score. It was just trading blows.
Yeah, I think it was. Somebody said, something about. I think there was like 5 minutes left, and they're like, the next, whoever scores and runs out the clock here is going to win this, and then I think there's 4 more scores after that. So I mean, and Lakeville South's not, a passing team per se. Man, they put some balls out there. They made some plays in the passing game,
and we'll talk about that. And when we talk about the defensive performance, because we touched on that last week with the preview, so we'll touch on that. But before we get into the offense and defense performance, we'll take a look at the player of the week, players of the week, and come back and talk offense and defense.
This ain't no game, this ain't no joke. I hope you prepare for the beat. We run through the middle, we run through your teeth. Baby, throwing it deep, we put 6 on the sheet, and it's only first quarter, so change up your deep. Whenever the lights on and the whistle blows, every Friday night we put on a show. Good, better, best, never let it rest. Step on the field and get body, bro. We ain't no jokers, we pop like a soda. Get me like an ogre, don't say we ain't Trojan. You see, we Anoka, we make no excuses. Relentless and ready with bros on my shoulders. Highlight reels on deck, yeah, they coming up. First half, right hook, and it does a bunny. I'm take 'em out, running all the money up. Leaving Cheerios on the board, no honey nut.
Back again talking offense against Lakeville South. Coach, again, a nail-biter, 35-34, coming down to the last play. We'll touch on that in the defensive performance. But you guys came out, you threw the ball a lot, 308 yards passing, 105 yards rushing. Talk a little bit about that. Wasn't not balanced, but you got the job done. So
yeah, I mean that's there was still an element of balance too. There was still quite a bit of run, quite a bit of pass, but with what they were giving us, it kind of fit that day, and guys were making plays. Some of those passing yards. You look at Zach Welch with a huge gain on a slip screen.
Yeah.
It's a pass play, but it's a dump to our running back and let him go do some of that Zach Welch stuff.
Extension of your run game, right?
Right. Yeah. 100%. So there was an element of it. If you talk about being a third run, third pass, third screen, we were probably there. But Peyton, I think we were 80-something% completion percentage.
Yeah.
83, I believe. For the game, I mean that's outstanding. That's taking care of the football. That's being clear about what he wanted to do with it on every play. I think he graded out at 93%, 92%. For the game. So he played really, really good football. Obviously, Zach, there was a couple plays once again that just refused to go down and made huge plays. Also added a defensive touchdown. But Affy starting off the game had a really big first quarter. Trey had some big plays in the first quarter, and it was just.
And when you throw for that many yards, you gotta throw the offensive line in there too, right? I mean, they're giving Peyton time to throw the ball, so you're not going to throw for 308 yards if you're getting pressured and flushed out of the pocket.
No, and one of our goals each week, it's on our goal board in there, is 95% pass protection. So that 95% of the time that we're in pass protection, we're clean, and and we got that this week. We actually asked Peyton on Monday when we were recapping the game with the kids how many times he got hit, and he couldn't come up with one. So really good job. That's always a positive thing. But we kind of, it's kind of part of what the game plan was, part of what we kind of anticipated with what they do. They're not a real big blitz team, so we somewhat expected to be able to have be comfortable and have some time. And he's done a really good job. There was a couple looks where he had an unblocked guy in his face, and he just had to trust that he could get it off. And those were huge plays for us.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to hear from two of those players on offense. Peyton Podani, who set the school record. We're going to talk a little bit about that record and his performance. And then also something I forgot about that Affy. We'll hear from Affy, but did not realize usually when you hear that this is the last time we're done playing on our home field, it means your season is over. That was the last time those kids get to play on Goodrich.
It was, and it kind of hit, because, to the kids' credit, they've been locked in on what do we have to do to get ready to play? What do we have to do? Yeah. What's my assignment? What's my job for this game? And then when the game hit, or the end of the game hit, and they celebrated winning, and then all of a sudden it hit them. Well, this is it. I'm done at this field.
I don't think many people realize that until after that game. The parents, people in the stands.
I know I didn't. I walked back. I was about to walk out the gate and look back, and there's 3 kids sitting on the bench. So I walked back over across the field, and we just had a little conversation as they were, kind of emotional about it,
bittersweet, right?
But it's when you put so much into something, when it does end, that's a lot more to it. Nice thing for us is we're still playing football.
Yeah. So let's hear from Peyton and Affy, and then we'll come back and talk about the defense.
Hey, we're here after a big win. Peyton Podani, didn't get to talk to you last week, but you set the school passing yard record at over 5,200 some. We're not going to talk about numbers, but you know what? Hey, we made it to state. Your thoughts on that?
I'm just so blessed to be able to play with this group of guys, and growing with these guys over the past years has been some of the best moments of my life. I'm just incredibly thankful.
Hey, and we got the big dog, Affy, going yard, just catching balls over your shoulder. Talk about going to state. What do you think?
I mean, shout out to Peyton. He's a freaking dog. We got the record, but he's been playing his heart out since his really freshman year. So I love my guy right here. I love all these guys right here. It's my last time playing on this field, and I'm so blessed to make these friends. I'm going to miss football, but I'm going to miss these guys more. And my brothers for life, so I'm really blessed.
Hey, we got to keep playing until you're out of games, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Heading to Farmington. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Back talking a little defense for Anoka. Coach, last week when we previewed this game, we talked about stopping the run, Lakeville's run game, that power run game. You guys did that, but they ended up coming out and throwing the ball. So they were able to make some adjustments as well, and allowed to go for blow with your offense during this game.
Yeah, to their credit, they're a championship program. I think this is the first year in it's like 7 years that they haven't gone to the state tournament. So with that, you have a group of kids, a program that's used to playing into November, and they're used to. Last year against Eastridge, their game, they came back from 14 down in the fourth to win that game and go to state. So they understand how to change things up. And then we maybe left some plays out there defensively that in the fourth quarter that we could do a little bit more here and there. Kid makes a play and knocks the ball away, we stop it. We get a little more pressure on the quarterback. Whatever the case may be. If you look at the first half of the game, kids were playing lights out. Mm-hmm. Even the one even though the score was what it was in the first half, we played dominant defense. We were up 14-0 in the first quarter, and we had it was a 3rd and long, and they snap it over the quarterback's head. And we got a chance to make that tackle. and get the ball back either on a turnover or they're going to punt, and we get it in our scoring territory. Let's go, go up 21-0 in this game, and kind of put it in a different realm. And we let them squeak down the sideline and a couple missed tackles, and they house it, and we're in a ball game. So that was one of those things, another one of those situations where we bounced back, and the kids just kept playing football, kept doing their job, kept trusting that what they're doing is the right thing and it'll work out, and it did.
And it's not too often that a team has 500 yards of offense and comes out on the losing end, but it came down to that last play of the game, that 2-point conversion. And I don't know your thoughts on this. I've heard different thoughts. If it's a road game, you go for it. If it's a home game, you tie it up. Yeah. But you got to give the coach credit for going for it and trying to come up.
We've all heard the same analogies, but I also think that as a coach, you have to look at momentum and go, all right, where's the momentum in this game? And he felt like he had it right there, and he felt good about what he called. And I think it's always easy to call a game from from the next day, or from the results, or from the stands. I will tell you from coaching experience, I have never once taken one bit of advice from a fan that yells from the stands whether we should go for it, or we should take a knee, or we should punt. Never once have I taken that advice, or have I ever heard it. Yeah. So to their credit, they believed in who they are. They did what they thought was best, and to our credit, then our kids, that is a tough play to make. When you just got scored on and you are deflated, and then to come back and say, all right, let's go. We can do this. And, they ran it, which I think is a benefit to us, because I think we were doing really well against that. And I think our kids just, at that point, just said, I'm going to do my job, and I just want this more than you do.
Yeah. And the game still wasn't over. I mean, they had just scored their onside kick, and you still have to recover that onside kick and not give them the chance to get the ball back. So, it was pressure-packed the last 43 seconds of the game.
And I think it's a great example for the kids of why do we practice all these little things all year? Why do we practice our handstand? We haven't used it yet. Well, here's the time. This is the time we need it. And why do we practice this defense? Why do we practice this look? Why do we practice these 2-point plays that we have? We got 3 2-point plays that we have for the playoffs that are ready when we need them. And we haven't ran those yet. Why do we? Because we have them. If we need them, if we're in that case, we know what we're going to run, and here we go.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, we're going to hear your post-game thoughts after the game on Lakeville, and then we'll come back and preview another Lakeville team, Lakeville North, in the third round of the playoffs.
Hey, we're sitting here, 35-34 victory, going to state, Coach. You wanted to go 1-0 in the second round playoff. Nerve-wracking game, right? Coach, your ass off.
Oh, was it?
I didn't notice. Parents cheered their asses off. Coaches coach their asses off.
Were there big plays? Or
I don't know. Let's go.
No, it was great. I mean, I'm so impressed with the way the kids responded over and over. Every time that something negative happened and it looked like, oh, here we go. Oh, we're going to lose this. They bounced back to win it on a goal line stand, 2-point conversion, to come up big and make a stop. Awesome. Offense, played well. Defense played awesome. Special teams played really well. So they're a good football team. Lakeville South is a good football team.
Yeah, they're solid. And so we're following the North End Champlin. I don't know if you heard yet. North won by 4. So Champlin gave them a run. So I know it's on to the next week. Enjoy this one, but now we go to Farmington and have fun.
I mean, I kind of, I maybe jumped the gun because I told the kids a story about my wife and I doing stain removal on the white jerseys a few weeks ago, because we're going to have an opportunity to wear those again, and that's, if we're playing North, that's what we get to wear. So, yeah, of course.
Hey,
we're ready for it. It's going to be fun.
Hell of a job. It was fun. Let's go.
Back for our last segment, going into round 3 of the playoffs, section champs first round of state now. Second Lakeville teams playing Lakeville North, 9-1, number 1 seed in that section of the bracket, correct?
Yep.
So bracket is played out just the way it was seeded. Lakeville North coming off a 17-13 win over Champlain Park. Like I said, they're 9-1. Tall task, but hey, this is why we play the game, right?
It is. No, they're a good football team. I think they're a balanced football team, a lot like we are. If you look at like opponents, they've had close games with the opponents that we've had. Their quarterback set their school record for passing yards a few weeks ago as well. Talented running back, that they ride him quite a bit, and he's a key factor. They got a handful of players that play both sides of the ball and are major contributors both offensively and defensively. And they're a good program. I mean, they're a program that's ran really well. Coach Voss does a really good job with his program. So,
and when you say balance, you're right. They average 141 yards passing and right around 200 yards rushing. So they're a balanced offense. They mix it up. They can run and pass. So
yeah, I think their running back leads the state in carries, which Zach I think he's in the top 10, top 15 as well. But yeah, they're a balanced team. They're a good football team. It's going to be, but this time of year, I mean, I heard somebody said something yesterday, that there's only 20% of the high school football teams in the country still playing football, and it's one of those that if you're playing past daylight savings time, you're doing a good job. Yeah, because it's a whole different experience for us because you're out there practicing and it's getting dark at the end of practice, and you got to turn the lights on, tonight we got to, our girls go to state for volleyball. So a bunch of the guys we're going to go support them. So we have a night practice tonight, which will be, fun, a good chance to get out there, a little bit different atmosphere and get a practice in. So yeah, it's a little different, but November football, that's anything can happen. We feel like we got a good shot. We feel like I think our kids are starting to believe that they are a good football team, and they're a good football team when they do the little things right, when they prepare like they did yesterday, like they have the past several weeks, do the little things in practice each day, and that's what's going to make us good.
And we touched on this, I think, last week, but thinking back, this is going to be your first road game in a month, 4 weeks, right?
Yep.
So it's a little different Friday, and it's a longer trip. It's down in Farmington. It's going to be on a bus, probably a good hour 15, hour and a half, depending on the time that you leave. So.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of a trip due to the traffic at that time of day. But it's just another experience for the kids, and I think the kids, once again, how the kids handle adversity. We went over to Centennial, is that our last road game?
I think it was it.
And we had a bus issue in the parking lot. So of our 3 buses, only 2 could make it out on time. So we have a third of our team shows up about 40 minutes before game time. And that distraction, in previous years, previous teams, it would have tanked us. It would have made us, everybody would have been off. People would have been, freaking out about it. Nothing. Kids came out focused, ready to roll. So, those type of things really encourage me, just how we handle different situations. They did it all summer when we'd have rain delays, when we'd have something at 7-on-7 that we'd have to work on. So these kids really handle adversity, different situations really well.
And when we get to this point in the playoffs, it's about the team that can execute, no pre-snap penalties, mistake-free football. That's going to be the team that it's top, right?
I mean, we're 8 teams left. The best 8 teams in 6A football are left. So there are no bad teams left anymore. Now it's good teams. Who's going to put it together on that night? Who's going to have a good game plan for that game, who's going to be able to execute that game plan, what kids are going to be able to stay focused for the entire game, not make the silly mistakes, the stupid penalties, the careless plays, and take care of the football.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, Friday night down in Farmington, number 1 Lakeville North versus number 2 Anoka. A chance to get to the U.S. Bank for the second round of the state playoffs, to be the semifinals. So good luck on Friday night.
Thank you.
If you can make it down there, hope to see everybody down in Farmington 7 o'clock Friday night.